Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be doing a new series on a super difficult playthrough. So it actually it may be a very short series if I don't survive. That's very possible. It's going to be more difficult than my goes up to 11 video that I made. I won that game. Well, I was winning that game and actually kept playing it after the one video. I only made a single video. I did get out of my home and I took over the nearest neighbor. And I felt at that point that I was going to do well enough. And sure enough, I took another close neighbor. This was after the video had ended. And I had pretty much expanded into a good sixth of the galaxy. And then I stopped playing. But I was convinced I was going to win that one. But I'm going to make it even more challenging here. I don't know if this is even possible. It certainly isn't the most difficult setting. But let's talk about what those settings are. So I'm going to start a new game. I like the 10 by 10. So I like a big, but with the minimum amount of stars. So I'm going to pick that. Random seed is fine. Now, I could make the game even harder if I allowed the other empires to start at higher levels. That's the only thing that I'm not making difficult. I'm having them start at the same as myself. So I am going to pick unstable for galaxy aggression and extreme difficulty. So I always play on extreme here. I like unstable too because it makes it more fun. I do research slow. That's hurting everybody, so it's not really a disadvantage. These are default, and I turn off track trading. That's kind of an advantage, I guess. Pirates are normal, but I select very strong. And this stays average, stay dead, and normal. I find space creatures more of a nuisance, and the really special space creatures are tough enough as it is. There's plenty of them to make the game challenging. Okay, colonies rare. And very rare for independence. There's way too many independents. I play with this no matter what. I never ever play any setting higher than this. I don't know how people do. It's a colonization fest at that point, and I like it to be, very important. Each planet super important, and holding it a very important strategy. Influence range I put up a little higher, and I put my colonization range limit higher because I'm limiting the number of colonies basically with these two upper tier settings. Okay, I'm going to play the Ackdarians because I've never played them, so that's going to give me a little disadvantage. And I'm in an ocean sort of mood. I'm going to leave this as Pacifica. Empire flag will be blue. Now here's where it gets difficult, right? So I set my home system to harsh. So I've never played this. I've played trying before and won. It was difficult, but I've never played harsh before. I'm keeping myself starting like the AI is, and I'm going to do far regions. So this harsh is the real tough setting, right? This is what's going to really throw me off, and I've never played on this, and let's see what I can do with it. So other than setting the AI empires to be a higher level tech or to have been expanded, to have multiple already expanded systems, this is as hard as you can make it. And I'm going to go with 15. That's a lot. That'll be a little crowded. That'll make it tough. We'll see what happens with that. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, good. I am on the edge of the galaxy. That's interesting. So it's a slight advantage. I mean, it's a disadvantage and an advantage, but it's a slight advantage. Okay. Right. So I'm not used to the storyline. I do know the first thing that happens, though. Okay, early warp. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is, which I never do normally, is take both warps right away because I've got to get out of my system. When you start at this disadvantage, my star system's not going to have half of the resources that we need. So I've got to get all the way to warp field so I can get my bases produced outside of the system where there's going to be hopefully an abundance of resources. But my in system is going to be very limited, at least the way I've set the game up, including my home here. Okay, good. So let's see what happens. So it's going to check out. So this is new to me because humans don't start with a big spaceport here, and I'm going to rebuild it. Great. Okay. So now I have to decide if I want now there's no mission here, which is crazy. So I've got 3 close bodies. That's interesting. I might delay my warp drive for this because this might produce enough stuff for me and also keep the pirates off me. Interesting. I mean, I don't think I'll still go for them. All right. I'll stick to my strategy of when the system's bad because these probably won't have a lot of things on them. What I'm really looking for is now I have some increased research here because I've got the spaceport and I want to get my first research station built. That's my priority. Because I'm always going to be playing with the minimum here with money so low. Excellent. Okay. That I'll never be able to fully fund my research, not for a long time. And so I'm always going to be running about 2/3 or half. So I really want to try to stack up these research bases as soon as possible and see what happens. Yeah, this is kind of far. I didn't realize that. That's not great. Okay, fighter base. Yeah, so this is a nice little boost the Akdarians get for this. All right, so not much is going to happen for a while. I may rush I don't know. Let's see. I may save my money and rush the second one because this one's already at 60%. That's not too bad. This is interesting, though. I could get to these three pretty easily without even a skip drive, but I'm not going to play that game. They are kind of far. You see this, how long this guy's taking to get there. So I'm going to just keep rushing. Not rushing, but I'm going to allow skip drive to go first. So I will be following a lot of things in my guide. I'm going to do a missile build, which is, I don't think is an advantage. I'm not a big, huge fan, but at tier 4, they're really good. And I would eventually want to get the missile that the torpedoes and the missiles together form. I think it's really powerful. If you watch my videos on shield and hull and armor damage, you'll see that if you go into mid-game with weapons that don't do enough damage, you have like missiles where you have a ton of them, but they don't do a lot of damage each, you're going to be at a disadvantage eventually, in my opinion. So I'm going to, switch from missiles. I'm going to get to tier 4 missiles. I'm going to do torpedoes and combine them. I think it's called Nova missiles, or it's the first weapon that's combined from both of those trees. And then I'm going to follow that. And then I may follow torpedoes after that. But I am going to do missiles, just not as a disadvantage necessarily, but because I've been having some luck with them. Okay, so here we go. This is not the one with the research station. Okay, wow. So that's not good. I'm guessing it's this one. So this happens. Usually you have one close body and that's it, right? Planetary body. And usually that's the one, well, always that is the one, when you only have one, that is the one that has the research bonus. But when you get a bunch of them, if you're a moon, I'm a moon of this planet, obviously, then any of these three here could be the one with the research base, and it's going to be kind of far away, which is not great. I'll probably build a second constructor ship as soon as this is done so that he'll have skip drive and he'll get right over here to build it, because I'm at a little disadvantage here waiting for my second spaceport. I have no scientists yet either. Now, a little strategy just to share with you, I'm probably not going to talk about it again, I'll just do it, is when these get to like 80%, I'm very, very afraid of research failure that sets it back to like 20%, right? And I'm back to 2 years later. So when I have enough money, which I won't most of this game or most of this early game, is I usually rush these at this point, right? So I click, because they're cheaper too. So I click on them, I click on here and I rush it. I mean, $1,000, actually, I'll do that for $1,000, yeah. And I rush it, and this guarantees that I'm not going to have like a failure. Once you rush it, it can't fail, because I don't want to drop down to 20%. So somewhere around 60 to 70% of every tech, when I have the money, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be rushing it, just so you know, until the money runs out. And it is going to run out, I'm afraid. Okay, let's hope this is the research base, but I will probably wait till this gets to 100 before I send someone there. And get my second research base. I always build my research base even before I make my first mining station. So another big, not long-term strategy, but another big strategy. Here we go. And there it is. Okay. So I'm going to click this because this guy's already committed to doing something else. So I'm going to click this, and that's okay. That's going to be the second thing they build, is the research station here. This guy, you can go over here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now he's going to retrofit. He's going to get the skip drive, and then he'll be able to go and check out the rest of the, get back here quicker. Oh, he's going to retrofit first before he does this. All right, fine. But before he gets there, I'm going to quickly build another construction ship. Yeah, because I want him to immediately, and I guess he'll probably do the mining. All right, well, whatever. So between these two, someone's going to do the research base first. I may manually override it when this guy comes out. It's a really cool looking spaceport. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so I haven't seen these models. I mean, I've seen the models, but I haven't played a game with them. Great. Okay. And I'll probably build a second scout ship, although I'm really careful when I'm this low on resource, when I have this bad of a system where there's not a lot of resources. I'm going to be pretty careful. Okay, so this guy should be producing this shortly. So I'm going to Yeah, there's the one getting upgraded, and this is the one construction ship that's going to be produced. So I'm going to manually. And then, so anytime you force a construction ship to do something you wanted to do ahead of the queue, the normal queue, immediately go and switch him back to fully automatic. Or, you could say, auto build research bases, but you don't want to leave him on manual because then he'll just sit there. You'll forget about him and you'll sit there. I mean, you can constantly look here in the menus and make sure that they're both doing things, which I sometimes do. But as soon as I do a manual order with him, on any button, I immediately put them to automatic afterwards. Okay, and now that he's committed to do that, I don't mind hitting mining station here to get the castle on. This is super important. Without the fuel, no one's going anywhere. And there's usually a fuel source. I'm sure there's a fuel source every time you play, even in this setting, for Castellan in your home system. So that's like the next priority, right? The research base is first priority. This is the second priority, even though I think they're going to build this one first. That's fine. And they're all really close, so it's not a problem. So I am going to go ahead and build a second explorer ship because I only have one right now, I believe. So I'm going to build a second one of those. So I have 2 explorer ships, 2 construction ships, which is a little dangerous. Okay. And then, as I've mentioned in my videos, I think if you're watching this by now, constantly you're checking the resource new mining locations constantly, and you're just clicking these, except for when they are asteroids, right? So except if you have an asteroid belt, you're constantly clicking these for pretty much any resource because the money you make is going to easily pay, right, for the any expense involved. Most of the expense actually is for the private sector anyway. And I think my private sector will do okay. Right. Now, the reason I'm staying afloat, and you see this negative red every turn, and why I'm not losing money but actually gaining money, is, of course, if you're kind of new, it's because the private sector is paying me for shipbuilding. Okay, so that'll show up in bonus income here. Yeah, see, so I made $8,700 because we were building all these ships. Great, I got my second research base. So that's how you stay afloat for a while. Is the private industry pays for a lot of things, fuel and also shipbuilding, and that's how you stay afloat. I'm going to go check my research. So now I should have 2 stations. There they are. Yep, good. 30 and 24. That's great. See, that one was 30. But I'm not going to be able to fully fund this. So, but at least I'm up to 43. It's going to make things go a lot faster. Okay, now this is 5 years. I'm going to wait a little while, and then I'll rush this if my money survives long enough. Yeah. Okay, and always, always checking this. New research locations, you're always checking this. Eventually, we'll be always checking for new resort locations, but we don't have the technology for that just yet. And then you're always looking for new mining locations. Now, they're all clicked because they're all selected here, but my scouts, which are, okay, they just discovered more stuff. Yeah, good, there's another one. See, and all this stuff is red. This means that it's critical. I know we need all 3 of these for ships, definitely. So this is actually pretty rich system from what I expected to get. I know my home colony here is going to be weak, but I'm actually finding a lot of resources. I haven't seen silicon yet. That's always a big one that you run out of quickly. In my guide, I talk about the critical resources to build things early on. I kind of know them in my head pretty much now, but otherwise, other than that, most of the other ones I see here, we've got. So this is a big one too, the Emerald Crystal. Yeah, okay, good. Always check, and that's not going to happen this quickly, but for new research locations, there's sometimes there'll be a second one in your home, but that's on normal. I don't think on the way my setting it's going to happen. Okay, good. So we've got bases getting built. This will increase our income, and as soon as we meet another independent or even the pirates, potentially we'll do some trading, and that'll make us a little bonus income too. Okay, great. And the more mining stations you build, the more freighters there's going to be, and every time you build freighters, you make money, and that keeps you afloat. See, I'm already up to 48 grand. All right. Again, when this thing gets over 50%, imagine waiting 5 years for this and then having a failure at 80% or something, right? You just rage quit the game. So I will prevent that from happening by rushing that. And it looks like I'm going to have enough money thanks to the civilian investment. Okay, great. While that's all working and doing its job, I just want to take another look at here and spin the map. Yeah, okay. So we're probably, there's going to be somebody here and somebody here at 15. It's going to fill up pretty quickly. So hopefully maybe I'll get lucky and they're only on one side of me. And of course, the big luck thing that I need desperately is an independent colony that's going to be profitable, right? So it's going to, just like my home here, I'm going to click over here and I'm going to see a suitability for the race that is occupying the independent colony. And it's going to please be something over 20, hopefully over 30. See, plus 22 is not very good, right? So that's why this, and only quality 37. Yeah. So this is a really, any normal difficulty setting won't have this bad of a situation here, but we're going to be hurting. This is not going to produce us a ton of money. So I'm praying for, it's pretty much a make or break if I can get the first independent colony. And then if I can conquer a race that's not too hard to assimilate, if I can conquer that early and get those 3 income sources going, and that'll take a while too, that's when I would, feel comfortable that, yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to win. But right now, it's all up in the air. Okay, so I'm probably going to pause the video here until I get this to 100% because it's going to take a while. There's not much that's going to go on. You're not going to miss anything. I'm just going to keep adding more mining bases to all the locations that pop up here. And oh yeah, I did find a pirate base already. There's one in here. Okay, and I've got a new scientist too. Okay, good. Now we're not going to be able to see anything about him for a while. Won't see his skills, but one of the big things you want to get is all research, right? If you get an all research bonus that slowly is getting better, that's incredibly powerful. And if he gets the drunk trait, actually it's addict. I think drunk is for admirals. It's an addict, like a drug addict. So if you get that trait, just delete them. The only way you would keep that trait is if you also had all research and they counterbalanced each other, because the addict will give you minus 5% on all research, and that's just not worth it. So we'll have to see how he does. Yeah, I haven't met any pirates yet. I'm surprised, actually. It's the only other exciting thing. So I will, as soon as I meet my first pirate, I will resume the game with you, but you're not going to miss anything while I'm waiting for this tech to go. I'll probably rush this when you're not here, and then as soon as this tech changes, I'll restart the video. Okay, welcome back. The only thing that's happened is I found a couple more resources. These are all colony development. This is great. That's going to help my income. I rushed, as I said I was going to do for the warp drive, so we're all good there. So my ships are going to now, yep, so I've got the warp bubble generator. So my ships are all going to, on their own probably, yeah, they're gonna all on their own update, because now they're all on auto, so they'll upgrade automatically, and then they'll leave the system. I actually will build right now one more explorer. So let's go to my base, build one more explorer. They're pretty cheap. I mean, I am hurting for money here, but they're pretty cheap. Okay, so I'll build one more at least. I'll probably build a few more very quickly. Now, the next thing I need to do is decide what my next techs are going to be. So now I'm going to go back to my standard, which is to get these resort bases, which generate a fair amount of money, bonus money. And that's really important to me because money is an issue early. I need recreation systems, so I'm going to pick that. I do take research labs pretty quickly too, but after I do this first. So, and then I need basic transport, because that's going to give me passenger compartments. So I'm trying to get all the stuff I need for, and this is all in my guide, resort bases. And I need these two. Okay, so I thought I got a boost for this. I guess I didn't. Okay. Anyway, expanded civilian ships I need, and then expanded space stations. That's going to give me the resort base. Once I get these 4 techs, I should have resort bases available to me. And as soon as I build those, I'm going to have a nice, juicy 3K income per month, per year. 3,000. That's going to be great. All right, so that's my next task. So I'm going to let those 4 run. I will rush them like I always do, like I explained to you earlier. I'm going to let that run. I built an extra explorer. I'm going to check on my scientist to see if I know his skills. Good. He's an ultra genius. This is great too. Increases the research output of your empire by 20% for each scientist with this trait. Now, there's a little bug here. It takes a while for that to happen. So if you go to, that's, by the way, that is the best one you can get. That's like an all research of 20%. So that was a huge break for me. Yeah, see, it's not here yet. So my government type gives me 20% automatically. My race gives me 5%. That's why all my research is boosted by 25%. But when that guy kicks in, and it takes a little while, I've noticed, I think it's a bug, this will go up to 45%, and that will be crazy good. 1.5 times almost of my research, and that's going to make a huge difference. So that's great. That was a big break. Check for any more. Oh, there are more. Well, these are, okay, so these are all the asteroids, right? And it's good to maybe pick one of these because you always need steel here. I have plenty of Memnar, I'm sure, but we always need steel. So I'm going to pick one of these, but I'm going to go look at it. So I'm going to double click here and look at the field because I want to pick one near the middle. See, these aren't even explored yet. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, this one's kind of near the middle. So when you build a base here on an asteroid field, it's going to mine the ones around it. And actually, it'll get to all of these events. It'll probably get to most of these by building it here. And I can build it here. Not yet, but once he explores it. Or actually, yeah, this is probably the best place. Okay, so this one's a little closer. What's he doing? He's mining it. Okay. So I'm going to build a base here, and that will pretty much get all these. If it doesn't get this last one, it will when I increase my mining engines, I think is the technology. So there's a technology that will make it get all of them. So, you know, this is probably more central, but this is fine. So even though this has relatively not great resources here, it's going to get this one, it's going to get this one, it's going to get these three, at least these two and probably these three. So I'm going to say build a mining base there. So when this base is done, it'll get all these rocks, and that'll be good. And I encountered this unbuilt spaceport that needs to be fixed. So eventually one of my constructors will come and take care of that. And there's my other base for the planet. So that's picking up all these nice resources there. So there's, yeah, at least 2 there. Good. All right, great. So everything's going well. I don't know if any of my ships have left the system. It doesn't look like they have. I did build them. Okay, I found another Castellan source. Okay, good. That's another fuel source. So we definitely need that. You never say no to these, right? In fact, I don't really say no to any mining base except for the asteroid fields because they, you know, it's overkill here. Okay, so I'm looking for my explorer ships. So they should be leaving the system. Here he comes. So I just built him. All right. So if he doesn't leave the system, I'm going to force him to. Yeah, here he comes. I'll force him to anyway. So I'm going to just tell him to go here and explore. But now he's set to manual, so I'm going to override the manual setting and set him back to fully automate. Okay, so he'll go here, and then he may do another one. He may refuel. He may do a few things. But I want to keep them out of this system because they can get bogged down in there. Okay, so here it is, our first pirate. So I'm definitely going to accept this deal for now. This is where I'm going to really start going broke because right now I'm actually making money, net money because of my bonus income. But this protection agreement, 125 per month, ends up being a lot of money very quickly. And I'm going to meet more than one pirate. So if I meet a pirate that's far enough away, I may not pay him off. But the first one I meet, I'm sure is in range of my home. So I'm going to pay him off. Accept this deal, and then I'll dismiss him. Okay, good. So you want to do that before they fire on you. So there's I only know one pirate. I've only met one pirate. Now I have a protection agreement with him, and now my money's going to start draining like crazy. But at least I don't have to build any ships. That'll help with maintenance. I don't really want this. Sometimes it helps with by accepting those, it helps with okay, now I told you I was going to handicap myself here, so let's get the spy counterintelligence. Yeah, but I'm going to switch them to manual so they stay there. Okay, and then if I get any that aren't doing that, as soon as I see it happen, I'll switch them back to manual and I'll put them in counterintelligence. So they'll just stay there forever. I want to make sure my scientist still has that great trait. I don't know if it's kicked in yet. So let's research bonus. Yeah, see, this is a bug. See, it should be showing up right here, and it will eventually. It will eventually, but it's going to take a while. So kind of getting robbed there a little bit. Okay, let's let this run. Good. So you see, once you've explored a system that's close to your colony, your influence is going to spread out there. Unless he had a colony, you know, another AI had a colony really close to here, then you might be fighting for this. But, you know, I would have to be here, I guess. So I'm definitely going to get this influence. Now, if I have an independent colony or something around here, my influence will spread greatly from that colony. So that's another benefit of finding some independent colonies here. I don't know why I'm under attack. Okay, why am I under attack? Is there a second pirate that I don't know about? Yes, there is. Okay. And because we're at -14, he probably will not agree. Yeah, see, I lost -4 because I missed the pop-up, I guess. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's see if they accept it. I don't think they will. Oh, they did. Okay, good. Yeah, sometimes when they're not pleased with you, you won't be able to get. I don't know what the cutoff is, but okay, good. So I've got 2 protection agreements. Now I'm going to really go broke, you'll see. And I'm not going to be able to rush these. I should have rushed that last one. I didn't. Okay, humans. They're not going to be too unfriendly to us. Now, here's the big key, right? So the first time you find your independent colony is pretty far away. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to be able to colonize them because of the distance. Yeah. So I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to take a look at this colony and see, hopefully, that its suitability is high. Let's take a look. That would be a lot of income from me. And it's not. See, it's not even worth taking because you need the human suitability to be 20% or higher. Otherwise, it's going to remain unprofitable for a long time. So that's rather depressing. I can research some techs that will get it to 20%, but that's a long way away. So this is bad news. This is bad news. Okay. I mean, there could be more, of course, and that would be great. And I don't want anybody else colonizing it. It's pretty far, though, so I don't think that's going to be in our plan. So our wish list so far is not going to be what we wanted. But we will trade with them, and actually we'll try. I think they default to a trade. Let's see. Do we have? Yeah, we have a restricted trade agreement, and I don't think we can get a better one without spending money. No. So that's okay because it's pretty far too. I really don't want my transports going that far, but maybe his will come and buy some of my resources, and that will help me with some income. So when you have a trade agreement, and I don't know about a restricted one, but when you have a free trade agreement for sure, they're going to come and send their freighters and buy stuff from you, and that's going to help with this bonus income. So even though I'm not making as much on taxes as I'm spending. Okay, so we got another one. So let's see, does he want peace? Yeah, he does. All right, that's our 3rd treaty. So now we're really going to go broke. So we've got 3 protection treaties going, and we're going to be in hot water very soon. Okay, but I'm up to 90,000. That's interesting. So I may rush this. I really want to get these resort bases built because that will be a nice source of bonus income. So I'm probably going to rush these things pretty soon. I think it's pretty cheap, so I may be able to get away with it right now for, yeah, $5,000. That's 5,000 credits. Okay, good. All right, we haven't encountered anybody else yet, so that's nice. And I don't know, I haven't been checking this. Yeah, good. So there's other sources here. So see, a 3rd Castellan source. So we'll do that for sure. These 2 are in my original system here. I really don't need them. Let me show you what I was talking about earlier while we're waiting. We've got nothing else to do. Did I miss it? Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this is it. Okay. See, so I built this one here like I said I would. And you can see all of these, see these little shuttles running back and forth? It's going to hit definitely these 4. Yep, see, there he goes. I don't know why it's not pulling anything off of this. There it is. Okay, good. So it's pulling stuff off of these 4 and maybe even this one. Let's see. Hard to tell. Oh, there's nothing on it. Okay, there's nothing on it. Okay, so nothing on them. So this one is getting all 4 of these, which is great. So you can see he's building up resource very quickly. That's good. All right, and they're getting, probably freighters are coming, taking them pretty quickly. All right, good. But see, I don't want one on each of these, right? And then I probably want one on this side too. Okay, good. So another one popped up here. More necrostone and a colony development. That's going to generate money. We definitely want this. Like I said, I'm going to always click on this 99% of the time. Okay. 2 more techs before we can start building the resort bases. Always check research. Now, again, if you're watching every pop-up, which I don't do because they're just so annoying, but if you're watching every pop-up here, you would know when you find a research bonus that you could build a research base at. But you can always just ignore them and just check this every once in a while. As long as you're checking both of these every once in a while, you're fine. Okay, so I'm going to just let things run. All right, so I'm going to send this ambassador manually because ambassadors don't seem to move for me. I don't know why. I'm going to send them manually to that human colony because if they like us enough, well, first of all, it gives them experience. And second of all, if they like us enough, we might be able to move our trade agreement one step higher and make a little more money off of trade because, like I said, we're going to be desperate for money. I'm doing okay now. I'm very surprised. I'm getting a huge bonus income from shipbuilding. That's what's, keeping me afloat is the private industry is buying ships off our spaceport. Our spaceport's building the ships, and that's what's keeping us afloat. But that's not going to last forever. Oh, nothing's being built now. See, it's not going to last forever. Like this year, it looks like we're going to have trouble. And with 3 pirate agreements, we're going to be constantly behind here. So I need these resort bases to happen quicker than not. All right, now I've explored these 3 systems. That's good. Haven't found anything yet. Right, and of course, if you're kind of new to the game, this is because you need to research higher scanners so that they can scan these resources and these planets better and find more things. So there are definitely more resources than you see when you first scan a planet or a moon. Right, you can see as I explored this, my influence is expanding more. I'm tempted to build another. I will build another. At least I would say at least 5 of these. That's very conservative as it is. So I'm going to go back to my spaceport here and build 2 more scout ships. I really want to find out what's around me. If I hit another empire, I want to make sure I've expanded there before they do. So if I can't have an independent colony, the next thing I'm going to have to do is take my nearest neighbor out. And then also I want to be looking for, it's all pot luck, but I want to be looking for one of the 3 special resources that generates a ton of money. So you can read about those in my guide as well. That would be another way to make money. And then of course it never happens, but there may be new colonies besides this one. There may be new colonies, ocean worlds, where I could actually, that have a 20% or higher suitability for my race. Okay, we're just going to say freedom. All right, we picked up an extra space. Oh, prime research station. Okay, great. Oh, that's excellent. And we got a tech from it too. So we got improved interceptors and advanced turret automation. That's great. And dismiss that. Now let's go look at our technology. You'll see we should have 3 now. Wow, that's great. That was a great find. Okay, I guess it was in my, no, here it is. It's right here. Okay, so let's double click and see where that is. Yeah, pretty cool looking design there. Yeah, so we just found this and it didn't even need to be repaired like some bases do. It was just there. So we quickly automatically got a 32 research. That's a big big plus. That doesn't happen every time. So I'm really excited about that. So now my research is up to 73. Notice again, I don't have enough money to fund my research fully. So I'm going to run here a lot lower than I could, but this is still pretty good. And the other thing is, did my bonus come in yet? See, this is a bug. I'm going to actually try a reload. So I'm going to pause with you. I'm going to try a reload, and I'm going to let these texts go. And I don't think anything more exciting is going to happen right away. And as soon as I get resort bases, I will start the video again. And because I think a reload may fix this bug. I can't remember what fixes it because I'm getting ripped off here really bad. Okay. As soon as this turns over, we're going to be, okay. So now in theory, I'm pausing the game here. You don't want this to run, the game running when there's no research projects. So in theory, there it is. I'm now allowed to build resort bases, okay? And there's 2. One's in my home. I'm going to build that one first, and then one is here. These are going to generate a fair amount of money if all things go well. Now, with the higher difficulty, I know it doesn't produce as much. We'll have to see what happens, but that's going to keep me afloat for a little while. So I'm going to definitely build these 2 in that order, my home first. The problem is I've got a lot of things going on and I've only got 2 construction ships. So they're very, very busy right now. So I'm going to build a 3rd one at my home. So I'm going to build a 3rd one here? Construction ship. Okay, so at least I'll have 3 construction ships. And I think I'll build another explorer. I definitely want my explorers going out as far as possible. So now the question is, what are we going to do next, right? So I have enough research bases that this is going to make a big difference, I believe. This one I was talking about earlier, which was the for research. Yeah, research labs. This one's going to be a big one, okay? It's going to allow me to upgrade all of my research labs to, because right now I think we have just basic research labs. So it's going to allow me to upgrade all of my research bases to research labs, and that will produce more science. Okay. So that's my next priority. After that, I believe this will help me make a little bit more money if we have a trading partner. So hopefully we will. So I'm going to click this one too, but that's iffy. I do, even though I'm not having combat right this second, I do hate having my ships go out, particularly my explorers without shields. So I think I may do shields and armor next. They're going to be pretty cheap, relatively speaking. So I'm going to take early energy deflectors and armor. So that's going to at least give my my explorers and my construction ships a little more protection. And I think I'll wait to decide. I want to see what happens after that. I don't think I need another hyperdrive technology, but I do need colonization because although I'm not probably going to colonize that human planet, I don't know what I'm going to do actually, but I will eventually use this if not sooner. And then these two scanners are really important so that I can as my explorers go out, I can explore at a deeper setting and find more resources and perhaps more artifacts or some other specials. So I'll do those first, I think. So I'm going to do those 2. That will help upgrade my explorers to survey better. And then I'll do basic colonization, even though I don't know what I'm going to colonize because that Earth planet is out. But that will again lead me to improve these, which greatly improves. I'll do the water one for my home planet, and maybe I'll do the continental tree so we can grab that independent colony. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's plenty to go on for now. And let's let it run. So it's going to take a little while for them to build these 2 resort bases. And then it's going to take a little while for my spaceport to start building passenger ships. And then it's going to take a while for those passenger ships to actually start shipping people off to these exotic resort bases. And we can start making some bonus money from that. But I'm still doing well. I'm assuming the only thing keep me alive again is shipbuilding. And yeah, see, 52,000 in shipbuilding. So that's a big plus. So that's why it's great to build all these mining stations, get the private industry to start investing in shipbuilding, and that's how we're staying afloat here. Okay, good. So now there's my other construction ship. Good. So I hope he goes right to the resort bases. In fact, I might force him to. In fact, I will force him to. So let's see what he was. He's just leaving the construction yard here. Okay, good. So let's zoom in on him, and I'm going to tell him to build. I'm going to tell him to just build resort base. So he's going to, I'll do this. I'll let him do it, but I'm going to click this only build resort bases. Okay. And I'm going to only leave him on that for a short time because these 2 will be done after when he finishes those 2, then I got to switch him back to regular. So I've got to remember that I have them. Otherwise, if you do that, they're going to sit around doing nothing. And that's really a problem. Okay. Let's let it run. So I do want to take a little look and see if I haven't seen any other empires, which is great because sometimes they can start right next to you and you'd be really boxed in. They still may be there yet. We haven't seen them yet, but this is giving me a nice little expansion here, which is great. And I'm dealing with 3 pirates. I've had worse. So even the pirate situation is not too bad. I probably won't pay anybody else off that we meet because if I haven't met them yet, they're probably pretty far away. And although they will be a problem, I'll probably switch to combat technologies pretty soon. Okay. I don't know why those. Okay. Yeah, good. So another thing I didn't mention while we're waiting for all this stuff is I didn't mention my automation settings. It is in my guide, and I do follow the guide almost exactly. So under these policy settings for advisors and automation, I've got things set up the way I like them. It minimizes messages. I think the AI does it a pretty well job at the stock levels and the tax rates, and I can't be in the population policies. I do override them occasionally, manually. And I also leave ship design on auto, and then I just force manual all the ships that I want to deal with. But I don't want to deal with the spaceports. I may, if money gets bad, I may force the spaceport to have some commerce centers and some other things so that they generate money. I'll see how the AI does with that. But usually I'm pretty satisfied with the AI design for most everything except the combat ships, most of the time. But if you want to read my guide, it'll explain all the settings that I already came preloaded with here. So that's why I didn't show you those things. I didn't want to waste time doing that. Okay. Now, as soon as this happens, they should auto upgrade themselves. I'll show you the difference here. So you can see we're at 81. By the way, that reload, I don't know if I mentioned this, did not fix the bug. There's the bug. You can see I have this guy with his crazy good, ultra genius trait, and now he's going to do nothing. It's not going to, it's worthless for a while. Eventually it does show up, because I know when I went to report the bug once, suddenly when I went to take a picture of this, it had him, it had another scientist listed here for plus 20%. So it's going to happen, I hope, but it's going to be a while. And of course, all this time I would have had that bonus. It really makes a big difference. It may make a difference between survival or not too. So another bug kind of dragging me down. Right, remember I'm constantly checking these things. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take this one. And this one's new. No, it's not new. Polymer. I think I have a polymer. It could be new. And I'm going to ignore all these asteroid fields, even though they are in different systems than my home. Some of them, maybe. Yeah, like that one. Yeah, I might take a pot shot at this. Okay, so I may build one there because that's a new system. I don't have any others in there. But I really want to go look at this. Okay, this was a huge, huge find. 10%. First of all, it's an extra research base. So anytime you find a research bonus, that means a new base, right? Which means about 30 new research. That's crazy good. But this one's plus 10% all research. So that stat I was just showing you about. So now all of my bases will produce 10% more. So, and I'm actually going to hit show me because I want to see where this is. Okay. Oh, it's in my home. Oh, see, I already have one here. Okay. So I didn't realize that. So this bonus came from a planet that I already have a research station on, so it's not going to be a new research station. Okay, that's normal. We just didn't, so it was there, we just didn't know what it was. So if I go back to research now, though, you're going to watch. These guys are going to upgrade themselves if they haven't already. No, they haven't. I can force it. He has. See, I can force it, which I'm going to do. Well, that's the spaceport. Okay, I'm going to force the spaceport to upgrade. And I'm going to force this one to upgrade too. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of a hit here. Now, if I go to new research locations, you see there is nothing here because that pop-up was just telling me about a planet that I already had a research base over, and we just didn't know the bonus. But that 10% is still in play. So I'm going to go here to research bonuses and see it's not in play. Okay, so it should be here. It may take a little bit for that one too, but I think that one will show up. So right now I should have an extra 30% on top of these. But it's not showing it right now. That's a bug. It may be normal that it takes a little while for the other one to kick in from the planet. Okay, so I got a new resource. Take a look. Back to the top, because it always prioritizes the top ones to be important. Yep, right there. We already have this, but it can't hurt to have more for trading purposes. That's a +1 population growth. That's really good. Okay, so this one means that there's a creature here. So I'm probably I'd love this. I can select it, but they're probably not going to go there because of that creature. So there's nothing urgent I need, but this is +5 colony development. That can't hurt. Okay, I'll take that one too. So it's not critically urgent, but as soon as I get a military fleet, I need to do that. Now, the resort bases we talked about. So he's still building the first one. He's not even building the second one yet. So I'm going to leave, okay, it's done. Good. But I do have to watch him now. Now that he's working on the next one. So let's go look at him in the constructor field. Window, sorry. Oh, he's got no mission. He'll suddenly pick this up. He'll recognize that there's this waiting here. Oh, but there's a creature. Okay, see? All right, so I've got to build some military ships to take care of this. Okay, so he's just going to sit there and do nothing. So I'm going to switch him back to full auto. And now he'll build some mining stations, and I'll come back. The problem was that one of my resort bases was was where a creature was, and they were not gonna build it. So at least they're smart enough to do that. Up there it goes. Okay, so what did I get? A plus 10%. Yep. So that the research stations, the bonus from the planet that it's over kicked in, and that's good. So now my all research is 35. It should be 55, as I mentioned, because of the Ultra Genius. That's going to, I don't know when that's going to kick in, if ever, but that bug is really annoying. Okay. Oh, and I did want to show you we're up to 89 now because the new ones are higher, 43, 40. I don't know if this upgraded or not. It should have. Force another upgrade on it. It may have been lower than this. I don't remember. So, but we're up to 89 with 3 bases. That's pretty good. But you can see, and I'm still making money. So I may rush some more. Yeah, I may rush this. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little higher. Got the resort base at my home. I know you can't see it here. Let's see. Is it here? Yeah, there it is. So let's see if it's making any money. So here it is. Pretty cool looking. Okay, yeah, that looks like it's, yep, there's a liner, so they're bringing people. See, this one's bringing people too. So you can see there's 20K people on board here. Boom, that's money. That's bank. Okay, they're going to bring more. So how do I see what that money is? If I go over back here to my empire and I go to my first tab of economy, you'll see now, here we go, annual bonus income, tourism. So I didn't make that much last year because we just built it, but it's 880 so far this year. See, it just popped up because this guy just dropped off more. This guy's going to drop off some more. Watch it go up again. Yeah, that's bank. Here goes another guy. Beautiful. See, he just pulled out. By the way, those people are lost forever. They never leave, so these guys will never pull people off of here. It's not a big deal because it's not that much population. It's very small relative to the millions on the planet. So it's no big deal, but just a little fun side note is those people, I guess they turn them into Soylent Green or something because they never come out of here. Either that or it's such a big place that they don't, and it's such a happy place they don't want to leave. Okay, look at this bonus income already up to, and it's not even the whole year yet, 2,000. So that's great. That's going to keep me afloat. Oh, I didn't get a chance to rush this. Okay. That's pretty good. 4% development. All right. So I'm going to go back to when I get these messages and I recognize it's a new resource I don't have, I go back here. That's a really good one. And that's the one we just read about. So I'm just going to click all these. Yeah. Okay. +5 development. That's a good one too. And then the rest of these are just well, no, this is good. This looks like a duplicate too. Let's see what system that's in. All right, anyway, you saw my resort base making money. Oh, okay, here we go. So see the purple? That's another empire. We just haven't met them yet. Surprised we have a ship in there. Okay, so there's nothing here for them to claim, but they must have a colony close to here, and its influence is spreading down. So that purple is expected. It's not a bad sign, but it's be expected. I want to see what race it is, and I want to see how good the suitability of their home planet is so I can start taking their home planet. So I am going to now start, as soon as these are done, I'm going to start making a military research binge, and I'm going to do troops right away, and I'm going to take me a long time to build those troops. So I want to get that troop technology up. Then I've got to get troop transport technology up. And then, of course, I've got to get my ship strong enough to be able to face these guys and fight off their fleet. Okay. So I think we're going to pause here. I probably won't run much. I'll let it run for a little bit till I go through these texts that you saw. As soon as I encounter this guy or another pirate or anything big happens at all, I'll immediately restart the video. But basically what's going to happen over the next few years, I'm just going to run through these texts here. And before I set up the new ones, I'll start the video again. But I'm going to run through all the texts that we already talked about, these 4. Let those run. And probably nothing else will happen. We'll just expand a little bit, I think, hopefully. Build a few more bases. And then we'll pick up from there. All right, I'll talk to you later.